hear the word mindfulness, I think of someone sitting alone on the floor, meditating in a cool atmosphere. Then I think, how is that really going to happen in my world where a new baby and a toddler take most of my time and attention? So today we're turning to an expert to clear up a few myths about mindfulness and explain why he believes the practice is worth working into your everyday. Thomas McConkie is a developmental researcher and mindfulness instructor. It's great to have you.
Thank you, Brooke.
Thanks for being here. Mindfulness, it's kind of the current self-help buzzword. Is that fair to say?
Everybody's talking about mindfulness.
Why? Why is everyone talking about mindfulness right now?
I think everybody's talking about mindfulness because it works. We know that it's effective. It can help us lead more fulfilling lives, be happier people, and it's accessible to us. Anyone can do it.
It sometimes feels like this ambiguous idea, right? I want to get to a concrete definition of what it is. Is mindfulness meditation?
It's a great question. You know, the way I think about mindfulness is that it's a practice of paying attention to what you're paying attention to. And that might sound a little abstract, but I can make it really concrete. Your average adult, from the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep, they're totally lost in their thoughts. They're paying attention to all their thoughts flowing through their mind, but they don't realize they're paying attention to that. So the moment we back up and notice what we're paying attention to, we have all these new creative choices we can make.
So fair to say it takes a great deal of self-discipline, right? To get inside your own head and kind of command and control and notice those thoughts?
I think it takes a teaspoon of discipline.
A teaspoon.
It's remarkably natural. Like an example, when I work with students and I introduce them to mindfulness, I'll tell people to bring your awareness to your body and notice if there's a way to be more relaxed in the body and a posture that allows you to be more present. And the whole room, without me telling them to move, they'll kind of stiffen up, and like it's just so natural. The moment we bring awareness to something, it shifts and it creates more freedom, creates more happiness.
Let me ask you this, is mindfulness a replacement for spirituality? Does it go hand in hand with spirituality? What's your take on that?
It's interesting. I work with people, I mean, here in Salt Lake City, a lot of people are religious.
Sure.
And I found mindfulness is a really complementary practice to whatever belief system people have. And I work with a lot of people who have no belief system, who don't identify with any religion. And it's amazing how complementary it is to them and, you know, their particular lifestyle and worldview. So it's really a practice for human beings. It goes well beyond any culture or belief system.
Well, I'm going to ask a question I think I know the answer to, but really shoot straight with me and be honest.
All
Do you
right,
think mindfulness is for everyone? Can everyone out there truly benefit from this practice?
So here's the thing. I think about mindfulness as just a component of a healthy, happy human life. So the same way fitness is for all human beings. We get fit in different ways. You know, we'll do a Bulgarian split squat, some of us who are more
Is that
ambitious.
You? Okay.
I don't know
Certainly
if I can.
not me. Okay.
Some people will run a marathon, some people like to swim, but fitness is a part of human life, and nutrition is a part of human life. We all have different diets. Mindfulness is a part of human life, and there are different ways to practice mindfulness.
You've identified a couple of myths. You're going to bust those myths for us today. Myth number one, I'm too busy to do it. I'm too busy.
It's a busy world. We're all really busy. I would flip this myth on its head and say we're too busy not to practice mindfulness. Think about how much frenetic activity we're all engaged in throughout the day, all day, every day. We don't have time not to take a moment to just settle in, relax, reset the mind, reset the body, so that when we come back into movement, when we're engaged with the world again, we're more effective. Our movements are more crisp, and we've got direction and purpose.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. As a religious person myself, I try to carve out time in my day to pray to a higher power. I try to carve out time in my day to study the scriptures. I try to carve out time in the day at the end of the day to watch a show with my hubby, right? Connect with my spouse. Is this another time carve that I'm going to make?
This is great. Absolutely not. It's not an add-on. In fact, I had a student years ago who said it so beautifully. They also, their orientation was Christian. And they said, you know, I've been praying my whole life, but when I added a little bit of mindfulness to my prayer life, it went from prayers feeling like they were bouncing off the ceiling to feeling like I was really communing with that higher power.
So you're saying you can practice mindfulness even as you're doing an act, like praying?
Absolutely. It takes a little bit of practice. It's like learning how to type. When you first learn that QWERTY keyboard, you're like, where's that Q again? And how do I move my pinky to get that Z? It takes a little bit of effort at first. But then once you know how to type, you're not thinking about where the letters are. You're thinking about what you want to say to your friend. And when we practice mindfulness just enough, it becomes so natural that, like right now, you and I are relating, we're having a moment, an encounter, and it's more pleasurable if I'm more present for it. So mindfulness just becomes a part of our life.
I like that. I like that. You're good with words. You're explaining this in a really understandable way. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Myth
Brooke.
number 2, I'm afraid if I practice meditation, I'll withdraw from the world.
Right, and again, you know, there's a germ of truth to that. We do take a few minutes to settle in and watch our breath for a moment, let our thoughts go by. But the result of that is that when we do come back into activity in the world, we're more present, we're more engaged with the world.
What if you're a person whose brain goes ping, 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 ping?
You know, that's me. You know, that's all of us, I think. In this digitized world, our minds are just going crazy all the time. Mindfulness helps us realize, first take account of the chaos.
Right.
We first identify the problem. And then mindfulness helps us drop into a deeper place in ourselves where maybe our mind is still going crazy, but there's a deeper part of us that feels at peace, and we're not just at the whim of every thought that's coming and going.
My compliments to you. I've read a lot of articles on this. I read a book on this. It's obviously a hot, trendy topic right now. You explained it probably the best I've ever heard it. So
Well,
thank you so much.
Brooke. I appreciate
it.
that.
Where can people get more of your mindfulness practice?
Well, we have a community here in Salt Lake City called Lower Lights. You can check us out at lowerlightslc.org. And we have an in-house mindfulness podcast here at KSL. Check out the KSL News Radio app, Mindfulness Plus. That's a plus sign. They're short lessons, bite-sized, with a guided practice you can get doing it today.
Nice, nice. Thank you so much, Thomas. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Brooke.